In a room softly lit by the afternoon sun, she sat by my bedside, her expression a complex tapestry of confusion, frustration, and sorrow. Her features were a contradiction, tightened by irritation, yet sagging with the weight of sadness as she observed me lying in the hospice bed, my body rigid with discomfort and resignation. Her eyes were brimming with tears, though she fought valiantly to keep them at bay. "You've never felt like you could be yourself around me?" she asked, her voice tinged with a mix of disbelief and exasperation. "I've felt like aversion," I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. "Aversion," she pressed, her confusion palpable. "What does that even mean?" "Not my whole self, I suppose. Not who I really am, whatever that's worth now." The air between us grew heavy, charged with unspoken regrets and misunderstandings. The last few years had been a maelstrom of emotions and challenges, from the relentless progression of my illness to the isolating finality of hospice care. In the face of my mortality, the facades I'd maintained throughout my life began to crumble, revealing the raw truth of my existence. For the first time in memory, I found myself shedding the concerns that once seemed so crucial. The need to be perceived a certain way, to adhere to expectations, to play the part society had scripted for me. My doctor's grim prognosis had initially felt like a death sentence, but as time stretched beyond those boundaries, each additional day felt like a stolen moment, borrowed time on which I was living freely, albeit as a shadow of my former self. "I've never felt like myself with anyone," I admitted, turning to face her. "It wasn't about you specifically. You didn't do anything wrong. It was all me." Her expression softened, the tension in her voice giving way to a gentler, more open demeanor. "What do you mean?" she asked, her curiosity tinged with concern. "I blew it. I made so many mistakes," I said, my gaze drifting to the ceiling as I contemplated the enormity of my regrets. She moved closer, her presence a comforting warmth. "What are you talking about? Everyone loves you. Everyone who's ever known you, spent time with you, they all loved you." But her reassurance felt hollow against the backdrop of my self-revelation. My entire life, I was obsessed with being liked, with being seen as the great one. I altered so much of myself, made so many compromises, all in a futile attempt to fit into molds set by others, by family, friends, colleagues, even strangers. There was a poignant pause as the weight of my confession hung in the air. "That just makes you considerate, putting others before yourself," she said, though her voice shook with emotion. "Does it?" I questioned, my heart heavy with the realization of how much of myself I had lost in the process. The conversation meandered into deeper reflections on identity, authenticity, and the essence of being truly seen. As I voiced my fears of dying without ever having been understood for whom I genuinely was, the barriers between us seemed to dissolve, replaced by a newfound openness. "Then talk to me now," she urged, her voice a blend of determination and vulnerability. "Let me see you, the real you. There's still time." When we are open to listening, we can embark on a journey of mutual discovery. We can speak freely about our dreams, fears, regrets, and hopes, unburdening our souls to the people who had stood by us through it all. And as they listen, they can also add their own stories, vulnerabilities, and this, at last, is the connection we yearned for, not built on expectations or facades, but on the unvarnished truth of our shared humanity. Aiming to be a kind-hearted individual is both a natural and admirable pursuit. In a realm where harshness and indifference often prevail, those who choose kindness dedicate themselves to acts of generosity, empathy, and tenderness. They strive to never be the reason behind someone's distress or sleepless nights, going out of their way to prevent others from shedding tears. This approach to life is undeniably appealing. Yet, navigating through life solely on the principles of kindness proves to be an unrealistic goal. Inevitably, we find ourselves in situations where our decisions, while guarding our cherished values, may cause disappointment or anger, potentially making us the subject of scorn, albeit temporarily. For instance, we may face the heart-wrenching task of conveying to a loved one that our future paths no longer align, despite our profound love for them. Or we might have to enforce bedtime rules on a child, cutting short their plea for just one more story. Similarly, the uncomfortable duty of informing a colleague that they no longer fit within a team dynamic, suggesting they seek opportunities elsewhere, may fall upon us. For those deeply committed to kindness, such scenarios represent a profound struggle. The temptation to postpone or entirely evade these moments of truth is significant. Kind individuals harbor a secret wish to maintain amicable relations with all, their innate sensitivity often shaped by challenging childhood experiences. They may have grown up in environments where honesty was met with hostility or threats, conditioning them for a future where appeasement seemed the only viable strategy. Yet true kindness transcends mere acquiescence and placation. It involves the courage to express one's principles and adhere to them, even when faced with dissent or disapproval. It entails the responsibility of being transparent about one's stance, potentially upsetting someone's day or even their month, all in the pursuit of safeguarding their long-term well-being as well as our own. It necessitates navigating the delicate balance between being loyal and sincere, between being effective and amiable. Ultimately, mature individuals understand the profound importance of developing something far more significant than mere likability, character. This realization marks the evolution from merely aspiring to be universally liked to embodying the essence of genuine kindness, a journey that shapes not just how we are perceived, but who we truly are. As our conversation comes to a close, it's clear that the journey we've embarked upon together is more than just an exchange of words. It's a profound exploration of what it means to live authentically and kindly in a complex world. So, as we part ways in this video, let's carry forward the lessons learned and the insights gained. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reflection and discovery. May we all move forward with a renewed commitment to living with authenticity, kindness, and character. Until next time, let's continue to support each other in our shared journey towards a more compassionate and understanding world.